Good afternoon and welcome to the Division of Employment Securities webinar on the new North Carolina Unemployment Insurance Tax System, referred to as NC Suits. I'm Larry and I'll be serving as your moderator for today's session. Today's session is for agents, or those currently known as remitters. An employer version of this webinar will be Thursday, October 5th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. That information is available on our website at des.nc.gov/NC Suits. Now, let's look at the agenda for today's program. We're going to give you a little bit of background and benefits on NC Suits. Then we're going to have some demonstration videos. We're going to cover the portal overview, updating information for the agents, power of attorney and agent authorization, submitting a wage report, making a payment, and finally, viewing report summary and status. As you can see on the agenda, we have allotted time at the end of our program for an interactive Q&A session with our subject matter experts. During this time, we encourage you to share your questions by typing them in the Q&A panel. Click on the three dots on the bottom right corner of your screen, then select Q&A to type in your questions. Don't worry if we don't have a chance to address your questions during today's program. We will be uploading responses to all unanswered questions on our website, again at des.nc.gov/NC Suits. Before we get started with the system demonstration, I'd like to give you a little background about NC Suits. NC Suits is a new, modernized platform to administer North Carolina's unemployment insurance tax program. This new, robust, easy-to-use cloud-based solution replaces DES's decades-old tax mainframe and remote filing systems. This new system will launch November 13th after third quarter taxes are due. Let's talk about the benefits of the system. It has more convenient self-service options and several new features that will ensure more timely and efficient service, including the ability to report out-of-state wages, the ability to provide multiple contacts and contact types for easier access to DES communications, and the ability to request a penalty waiver, and so much more. So let's get started. Our first speaker is my colleague Rachel, who will guide you through an overview of the NC Suits portal. She will walk you through updating your information and assigning an agent to file on your behalf. Rachel?
Thank you, Larry, and good afternoon, everyone. We'll start by viewing the Agent Portal home screen. This screen gives you an overview of the functionality of NC Suits. Menu items and tile selections allow agents access to self-service functions. Along the left side of the screen, you'll see alerts, messages, and action items. By selecting the inbox hyperlink, employer messages will display, and each message can be viewed by selecting the subject hyperlink. At the top right of the screen, you'll see the Home button that will bring you back to the Agent home screen, an arrow button that will return you to the previous screen, a Print button, and a drop-down menu bar to log out of your account. The Options menu to the left gives access to the different functions within the system, such as My Account, Employer Lookup, Wage Submission, and many more. So, now that you're familiar with the layout, we know that one of the more important actions you'll take is Employer Lookup. So hit Employer Lookup, then enter any relevant search criteria such as the employer ID, FEIN, or employer name, and hit Search. Click on the back button to go back out to your main screen. As a reminder, if you have any questions as we navigate through these demonstrations, please just enter them into the Q&A panel by clicking on the three dots on the bottom right corner of your screen so we can answer them at the end. The next function we'll review is how to add or update your agent information. So from the home screen, click on the Account Maintenance button on the left Options menu. And then we're going to select the Maintain Account icon. You can add or update your address or contact information by using the Address Summary or Contact Summary tabs. The Address Summary tab displays the addresses on file with DES. Click the Add button to add a new address, then enter the new address information, and hit Save. If you want to update an address, you can click on the hyperlink, make any changes to the address information by clicking on the relevant fields, review your changes, and always remember to hit Save. You'll also have the ability to view past changes by selecting the History hyperlink to view the address history. Now we'll move on to adding an employer to the agent account and uploading the power of attorney or agent authorization form. Agents can add employers in the authorization information section, which is the function we'll review next. To add an employer as a client, select Account Maintenance, then Maintain Authorization. On the Agent Authorization Maintenance screen, agents can view and modify existing relationships in the Maintain Authorization section by either searching for a specific employer or selecting Search to view all employer accounts listed for the agent. Now, let's add an employer. Select the Add Employer button and you'll be prompted to add the employer's DES ID number and federal ID number. Next, you'll select the radio button for authorization type. You'll have the option to choose agent authorization or power of attorney and upload the respective forms. The forms are available in the links under the Upload Authorization Document heading. If we select the agent authorization radio button, the assigned roles screen populates so you can select the roles to be performed for the employer. Your options include wage management, payments, account maintenance, benefits information, appeals, and tax rate information. You must also enter the access begin date and end date if appropriate. We need to click the Select File button to upload the agent authorization form. Then, select the Certification of Completeness and Accuracy checkbox and hit Save. After saving the request, the workflow will be reviewed and processed by staff before it will be authorized. Now, I'll pass it back to Larry to demo how to submit a wage report. Larry?
Thank you, Rachel. I'm now going to walk you through submitting wage reports and making payments in the new system. You can submit your wage report in one of two ways: by navigating to an authorized employer's portal and filing wages using the same method as an employer, or by uploading a wage file via the agent portal. The employer must have an NC Suits account, be liable for the quarter. The quarter must be available and open for filing, and no other report must exist for the employer for that quarter. The agent must also have an established employer relationship with the employer and have permission to file wages on the employer's behalf. To begin this task, select the Employer Lookup main menu item, enter known search criteria on the Employer Lookup screen, click the Search button, then select the Employer ID hyperlink. Select the Wage Submission main menu item, then select Submit Wages. Enter all wage submission information on the Select Submission Type screen. Choose Submission Type, Quarter, and Method, then click Next. Enter required and applicable employee wage information for the employer. The fields SSN, last name, first name, and gross wages are all required. Then click Next. Enter the total employed for each month of the quarter. Select an option from the Employee Officer dropdown for each record. Now would be a good time to save your work without submitting the data by clicking the Save Wages button. Click Next. Review the calculation summary screen, then click Next. Select the applicable contact radio button on the Contact and Acknowledgement screen. Select the Wage Submission Acknowledgement checkbox, then click the Submit button. Review the report submission confirmation screen, then click Close. Again, if you have any questions about this process, please enter them into the Q&A panel or refer to the training guides posted on our website. I'm now going to give you a quick run through of how to submit a wage report via a file upload. To submit the wage report via file upload, click either the Wage Submission main menu item or the File Wages button under Employer Wage Reports. This will launch the wage submission function. Enter your email address and select the type of file you will be uploading. Note that NC Suits only accepts CSV, EFW2, and ICESA file formats. Click the Select File button to locate the designated wage file on your computer and click the Upload button. If the file uploaded successfully, the file name will be highlighted in green, display a green check mark, and a message indicating how many files were successfully uploaded. And click Next. Select a contact record on the Contact Acknowledgement screen. Select the Wage Submission Acknowledgement checkbox, then click Submit. Print the screen or write down the confirmation number on the File Upload confirmation screen, then click the Close button. Now I'm going to pass it to Rachel to quickly show you how to view summary and status information for wage reports. Rachel?
Thank you, Larry. To review wage report summary information, click on Wage Debt Summary from the home screen. This will take you to the wage summary screen where you can use the employer ID to search and view quarterly calculations for a particular employer. You can also preview previous years by clicking the Report Year drop-down box. Using the various tabs, you can search Debt Summary as well as Payment Summary, Transaction History, Report History, and finally, Employee Details. If you want to see a file submission summary, you can click on Wage Submission on the left options menu. Then, click on File Submission Summary and you'll be able to search for employer records using various search options. In the search results, you can click on the confirmation number, then on the employer ID to see the list of wage reports for each employee. The last thing we'll cover is how to make a payment on behalf of an employer by either entering allocations manually or by submitting a payment allocation file. For payment allocation files, agents with multiple clients may submit one file. The agent can submit payment for any employer they are connected to, regardless of their security role or if they have a payment due. Now, for manual allocations, the Make Payment function requires the entry of payment amounts to the employer accounts to which the payments are to be allocated. The option to manually allocate payments in the agent portal is only available for agents who have been given the payment authorization role and have less than 100 clients. An agent can access the employer's portal and the Make Payment function to submit a manual payment on a single client. For the purposes of today's presentation, we'll do a manual allocation. Start by selecting the Payments main menu item on the Agent Portal home screen. Then, select Make Payments. Next, you'll click on the Manually Allocate Payments radio button on the Payment Summary screen and select a payment method from the drop-down. An agent may make an employer client's payment using ACH debit, credit card, paper check, or ACH credit. Once you've made your selection, click Next. Adjust the payment amounts allocated to each employer on the Payment Details screen, and then when you're done, hit Next. Select a Payment Contact Detail radio button on the Payment Contact screen, and hit Next. Now, if you selected ACH debit as your payment method, you'll be prompted to enter the required bank account information on the Payment Details screen. You'll also have the option to check a box to save your information for future payments, so you don't have to fill it all in again. You can add a profile name to remember this payment method. Once you've entered all the information, click Next. Now, review the payment information, and if everything looks accurate, hit the Submit button. Finally, review the payment confirmation screen and hit Close. So that will conclude our overviews. Now I'll turn it back to Larry for the Q&A portion.
Thank you, Rachel. It's now time for our question and answer session. I'll read through the Q&A panel and call on our subject matter experts to answer the questions. Before we leave, we want you to know that this video was created exclusively for training and informational purposes. All information used for these videos is fictitious. This will conclude today's session. I want to thank each of you for your active participation. It's time to bring our webinar to a close. Remember, we are committed to addressing any remaining questions from the Q&A panel and will provide detailed answers on our website along with the webinar recording. Also on that website, you will find a wealth of resources, including instructional videos for NC Suits. Once again, thank you for your excellent questions and for dedicating your valuable time to us for today's webinar. We appreciate your engagement and look forward to assisting you in your NC Suits journey.